feel like I'm trapped, even though you got me this roadmap. Why won't I open it up? Why won't I open it up? Hello and welcome to number 4 of Mercy's Path. Everybody has a path to mercy, you know? So today we're going to talk about a bunch of random stuff. First of all, I wanted to address some comments from last time. One of the comments from Bones Jr. 83 was, "Amen. Thank you so much, and may God bless you and your family big time. Until next time." Love that. Blessings from the Lord are always welcome. And then the Dreamer 10 the underscore Dreamer 1030 said, "It's okay. Wes Huff, by the grace of God, put him in check," regarding Billy Carson. And he said, "For real, I was rolling laughing when he had a copy of the Codex Sinaiticus on hand." And then I said, "Yeah, I feel sorry for Billy now. He's spiraling." And then this guy said, I don't. He outright denies Jesus and the resurrection, straight up lied on Jesus' name. I'll pray for him." Yeah, all we can do is pray for those people. And so just, I guess, update on that whole situation. Billy took his entire 3-hour crazy video down. But Wes and Anton did a little, or a long actually, video about that. They did kind of a breakdown of, because Billy did this 3-hour rant and made all these claims about the debate that weren't true, and so Anton and Wes, provably, they played the Billy's video and then broke down all of his lies. You can find that on Anton Wisbiski's channel. Yeah, I'll put a little photo thing. So, but for today, first I just want to thank God that here I am allowed to do this. I'm alive. There's air in my lungs. There's a fridge full of food. There's a puppy that loves me, and a daughter that's growing in her faith. And I'm happy to be alive in life. God is so good, just so good. And so yesterday I actually bought a new car, so that's new. I had this little blue Chevy Cruze, 2018 Chevy Cruze, for 6 years. I had it, and it was a really great car, really no problems, and I, in moments, regret trading it in. But as I, start to drive around a lot of kids from youth group, and I have an 88 key piano now, that I need room in my vehicle for. And so I bought a 2025 Chevrolet Trax from the dealership I work at, of course. They gave me a great deal because I've been there 11 years. So they have to. No, I'm joking. But they gave me a killer deal. They give everybody a great deal. And I'm not just saying that because I work there. They really do take care of people. And it's not about the dollars, it's about people being happy, because we don't want people to be unhappy. Because buying a vehicle is the second biggest purchase in your life, usually, next to buying a home. And so, we just really, we care about people. Like I never ever in my life set out to work at a dealership. It just kind of happened. And because of the way this place is, and I've heard horror stories from other places, regarding customer service, regarding the work environment and all that kind of thing. And, I'm sure everybody's got, an opinion one way or the other, but I love the people that I work with. And I just know that the people that work there care about people. We're like a family. It's the Ulmer family. So yeah, I bought this. It's like a smaller SUV. The payment stayed the same. I just have to pay longer, which, it's like you're always gonna have a car payment, I guess, in life, unless you're Unless you can buy a car with cash, then good for you. You're killing it. That's awesome. But I cannot. so so yeah, I financed it, and it's yellow, and there's a video on Instagram that lots of people have watched because my daughter, I picked her up from school and she was like, "Why? Like cool car, but like why this color? Like that's yellow." It's kind of like it's kind of a mix of this yellow and that yellow. It's not green or yellow. But it's interesting. I'll just put a picture up probably. Yeah, it's lovely. I just needed it cuz we're going to be doing some traveling in the next year as far as like volleyball tournaments and you know, just life. I just needed something a little bigger. And it was really hard to pack everything in there when we went to summer camp, to Bible camp. So, um it'll just be better. It'll just be better. So that's what I did yesterday at work. Yeah, but I can't believe that I've gotten this is now number 4 and I've barely talked about music. I have barely said anything about my music career. So we're gonna kind of dive into that a little bit, and I'm gonna talk about my singing and how we're just gonna talk about it. So when I was so young, I think I was 14, 15, 2007. So I'm so old now that I can't. I have to do math to like realize how old I was. Why does my computer not have a calculator button? That's what I want to know. I have the calculator button at work, and I'm pressing it all the time to calculate stuff. But if I was okay, so it's 2024. Okay, you know what? In 2007, oh, it's embarrassing. I don't care. I've never been good at math. I'm not a numbers girl. Okay, I'm not a numbers girl, but never been a numbers girl. Uh, so 2007, I released my, or was it 2005? I don't even know. But I released an album called Don't Stop Play. Don't, period, stop, period, play, period. And it was kind of goofy. And I produced all this music myself. I used to make beats on Fruity Loops and I would just record myself in my room, just like I'm doing right now. Well, this isn't my room, but this is my podcast room. Uh, and so yeah, I made this album and it was really goofy and there was some really terrible songs on there. There's a song called Dark Fantasy that somebody sent to me a few years ago. J Dub, where's J Dub now? J Dub, if you're out there, hit me up. I want to know where you are. I became friends with a lot of juggalos back in the day because ICP, ICP. I was chanting that the other day as a joke to my daughter, and she was like, UCP? Ha 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 ha. Anyways, yeah, so J Dub, where are you? Where are all my homies from Juggalo Gaming too? Because like for real, um, where you been? I mean, I ever since I lost that one Instagram account, I've really been like taking in the fact that I've lost so many people in life that I just have never heard from again since losing that Instagram account. They probably think I blocked them, but I didn't. I'm just over there instead. So yeah, release this album and it's terrible and it's got all these crazy songs. And then like years and years and years. So I released this album. I did this like concert at school. And then I started recording more and more music. I did this Insane Clown Posse cover of Play With Me. And it kind of this was also back in the MySpace days, so I'm definitely old. But in MySpace, I had like 500 friends on MySpace, and then I released this "Play with Me" by Insane Clown Posse cover on YouTube, just me playing my grandma's organ in the basement, and uh, and yeah, it went kind of like not viral, but it got a lot of views, and then all of a sudden I had 40,000 MySpace friends, which was a lot back then. Like you see 1 and 2 million followers now on Instagram and stuff, and that's crazy to me because 40,000 friends on MySpace was a lot. Like 100,000 was like you were famous, but 40,000 for me was like whoa, it's so overwhelming, so insane. And so this guy named Nathan Extra, who the radio station name I don't even want to say because I don't know if you noticed, but I went 3 episodes without swearing because I've really, God has really washed that out of me in the last few years. But it was called WF Off Radio, and Nathan Extra and Leah. Maybe it was just Leah. I want to Google this. Let's see if we can find it. Nathan Extra and Leah. Leah and Nathan. Mm, I don't know. Anyways, Nathan Extra found me on MySpace and asked me to come as a guest on WF Off Radio. And I did. And I was like, I think I must have been 17 or 18. I was 18 because I have actually that video of that interview is still on YouTube somewhere on my channel, deep in there. So he didn't believe that I was 18 because he thought I looked very young, and I mean I was young, but I was 18, and I proved it to him. I showed him my license on the video, and he kept saying how hot I was. And in hindsight, when I listen to that, the way that they talk about me is like, oh, she was just this hot girl and we wanted to talk to her. Anyways. Yeah. But that was the whole culture back then as far as like Insane Clown Posse. Like it was just very that way. Anyways, I always remember what Leah said about me, and so he looked at my MySpace profile because I was cute and hot or whatever, and then I'm just gonna do not disturb this because like yeah, and and then he listened to my music and he thought I had a beautiful voice. And then Leah says, "Oh my god, haunting." Like they thought my voice was haunting. And many people over the years have told me that my voice is haunting when I sing songs. And I didn't really understand what that means, but I'm trying to lean into it now. And cuz like a lot of the songs I write and have written over the years are very emotional, and yeah, I guess I have a haunting voice for it. And so I go on this radio station interview and I gain more followers and or friends. It wasn't friends. You don't have followers on MySpace. You have friends. They are everybody that associates you with you is your friend. And I love that because I don't want people to follow me. I want them to be my friends. Like bring back MySpace because I don't want to be followed. And if you do follow me, know that I'm following Jesus and you're following Jesus too if you're following me. So yeah. So then after that, I was offered Nathan called me and asked me if I would perform at the gathering of the Juggalos. So in Cave and Rock, Illinois. Oh man, that would have been 2008. Let's see. Oh my gosh, this is memory laning me. Gathering of the Juggalos. I do have a t-shirt still from it. Why does the dog have to chew on his bone underneath my tripod? I really want to know that. So he asked me to perform at the gathering of the Juggalos, and I say absolutely. And so me and my friends, we get all packed up. And mind you, I was dating my very first boyfriend at the time. We were together way too long. It was very abusive, but he was my like first ever boyfriend, and so I didn't really, it. I've always in my heart been like, if I'm in a relationship with someone, like okay, we're getting married and this is forever. And that guy would break up with me to sleep with other people and then come back to me because I'm like a nice girl, and I would be like okay. And anyways, um, that relationship really set the tone for some of my adult relationships because, like, I was 18, yeah, but I had been with him since I was 14, and I just didn't know anything else. Like, I didn't want, I just was like, we're gonna make this work, you know? I think it's because my parents were divorced when I was really young, and so in me, I was like, if I get with someone, I'm never gonna leave them, and that caused a lot of pain, trauma, and abuse to happen. So, If anything, I'd love to talk about that in a future episode where we can talk about how, you know, women should not accept certain behaviors, especially physical violence in relationships. It doesn't matter. I don't care if he hits you one time, you don't stay with that person, because as soon as you make them think that it's okay the first time, then it's just going to escalate, and I know that. So um anyways, so I go with these with my boyfriend at the time and his brother and his girlfriend, and we drive all the way down to the Gathering of the Juggalos. It's a like 24-hour drive. We stayed in a hotel one night, and but we drove the rest of the way. That was my first time in the United States too, so that was cool. And I was 18, and so I was able to get across the border, no problem, and all this. And and so we literally are like, we're at the Gathering of the Juggalos, and there is nothing like Juggalo love, and I'll just be real about that. Like, there's nothing like it. I Until I met like God and Christians and church family, like there's something godly about Juggalos. Um which is kind of understandable considering, the whole six Joker card era. When the sixth Joker card came out, the Wraith Shangri-La, you know, Violent J says the carnival is God and may all juggalos find him. And I remember so many like satanic dark people being so angry that ICP had been subliminally preaching about God for, over 10 years. That was And I remember, when I first bought that album, I listened to it all the way through and I started bawling. And my mom had this like wax melting that smelled like vanilla, and every time it was a really weird, different kind of vanilla. But every time I smell that vanilla anywhere in the world, it just brings me back to being in my bedroom listening to the unveiling, and about, ICP actually loves God. And that was just so cool. Like there's a song in the fifth Joker's card of the ICP albums, the Amazing Jekyll Brothers. There's a song, I forget what it's called. Let's look it up. Amazing Jekyll Brothers. And now they're not great representatives of God. Obviously, they have a lot of horrible lyrics, and when I can't listen to it anymore. Like I really literally only listen to worship music, and if you saw my Spotify, Spotify Wrapped, you would see that all of my music is like almost exclusively Christian music, because music is magic. And sometimes I would go back and listen to some ICP, and just the way they talk about women, like, girl, they would say, girl, I love you, but now you gotta die. Like, what? Like, no wonder I was so okay with the abuse that I was suffering, because the music I was listening to is pretty much promoting that. Like, I love what ICP did for me back then, as far as like they helped me as a teenager, kind of like, it was relatable. Like there's songs about, murder and stuff, and about killing somebody who abused you and killing, somebody who hurt you. And at the time when I was a teenager, that was really helpful. But now I would never, because again, music is magic, and I don't want those bad thoughts in my mind. If I'm not worshiping God, I really just don't want to hear it. And I know that seems extreme to some, because I'm like, nope, no Taylor Swift for me, no nothing. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want to worship a man. I don't want to sing about some dude. I want to sing to God, about God. And that's what my music primarily is now, and I love that. Anyways, so in the Amazing Jekyll Brothers, the song Echo Side, there's this part in it where they sing backwards, and if you actually reverse it, it sounds very demonic. But if you reverse it, it says, F the devil, F that stuff. We believe in life legit. If you're digging what we say, why you throw your soul away. And so, like that's pretty okay with me. But then there's songs like F the World and I Stab People and Mad Professor. Like, I know that that's a horrible, like, themed song, but gosh, I love that's just such a creative. ICP was just so creative with their music. And I don't listen to it anymore. The last album I probably listened to was the Tempest, because they went from the Tempest being this storm coming to like this Tempest being this like roller coaster carnival thing, and I just kind of fell off. And even back then when the Tempest came out, I was kind of leaning more towards, I was starting to get more into mainstream music because I was never into mainstream music. I was always just into underground rap, underground hip hop, because the culture of juggalos is very much like f mainstream music, and I respect that so much, and I really do feel that in my soul. Like, if there's a Christian song I love, I would rather seek it out from a lesser known artist than listen to Hillsong or Bethel, because they have some shady stuff going on, and I don't want them to be like gaining money from my streams, and things like that. And so, anyways, I'm so off topic. Where even are we right now? Also, because I've always been an independent artist, and so I want people to support me, and so I seek out independent artists like Rachel Geek. Like, I love her. I don't really listen to her music much anymore because some of it just doesn't resonate with spiritually what I want to sing along to, like I said. But she writes and produces some incredible music. Rachel Geek. She's from Canada. Yeah, so anyways, so we go down to the Gathering of the Juggalos. I perform there. It's I was the first Canadian in the world to ever perform at the Gathering of the Juggalos. I beat Jay Reno by like 12 hours or something. Jay Reno is a Canadian rapper, Juggalo guy. I don't know where's he at? Like, bro, I haven't said that name in years. Jay Reno, rapper. Oh man. Anyways, he introduced himself to me before my set and told me like, "Oh, I can't believe you are performing before me. You took my trophy of first Canadian to perform here." And I was like, "Damn." And so that kind of was whatever. And then, the gathering, it would have been I know that the music and stuff doesn't really resonate with who I am, but I would love to go there again and experience it for real because, you're in the middle of nowhere, you're camping, and I was with these people, like, the guy's brother was my friend and we were chill, but the guy that I was with was so jealous, controlling, hated that I kept talking to people, hated that people were introducing themselves to me and hugging me, and anyone that I met, he was like angry that I was talking to them, and um, it was just not very cool. And so, and then I spent like I feel like a whole night and day just crying in the car because some of them were sleeping in the tent. I opted to sleep in the car with the windows down. um I don't know, I was just scared for some reason. I just was afraid. Cause like at the Gathering of Juggalos, like wild stuff is going on. Like people are in golf carts driving around crazy, and sometimes people's tent would get run over. And I don't know. I was like, I don't want that to happen to me. And so I slept in the car. I just cried in the car. I remember for like a whole night and part of a day because I was just sad. Like this guy's being so mean to me, like calling me names and calling me a you know, all kinds of stuff. And it's just funny because, I try to be a faithful person, right? Because I don't like people feeling unloved if I'm with them. And, you know, it's just, I think that I didn't know about projection back then because I know now that he was always the things he was putting on me and saying bad about me were the things he was doing. And it's just, anyways, regardless, Gathering of Juggalos was awesome. Performing there was amazing. And then I went on this like little tour of like I did Taste of Saskatchewan. I was doing shows on Broadway in Saskatoon, and then when I moved to, or I think I did live in Lloydminster, but when I came back from that doing that show, I got like booked at a couple places in Lloydminster because suddenly people were like, oh, this lady sings and go like internationally now. And so I did quite a few shows all over the place. And then, life kind of fell apart for a while. I finally left that guy after you know, he dragged me by my hair out of our apartment and left me in the hallway, and I didn't have anywhere to go, and it was a lot. but I ended up moving in with my cousin for a while, and then I just kind of jumped right into another relationship that again did not, last. It lasted again too long, but out of it came a blessing, which is my daughter. So she's lovely. Anyways, so then I'm in this new relationship where, the person that I'm with is again not being faithful to me, and I'm finding out all this horrible stuff, but again, like, it's just that instinct in me is to like stay with this person because, you know, I think that I've always felt like, even though I didn't believe in God at the time back then, I've always felt it when you are intertwined, sexually, you are become one flesh. And even though I didn't like know that to read that in the Bible, I think I believed that in my soul. And so, if I was with someone in that way, I was like, "Okay, we're together forever. Like, can you please just be nice?" And I wasn't perfect. I had all these wounds from just the previous relationship, so, um but, anyways, there's a lot of songs that I wrote about that relationship where there's just a lot of unfaithfulness, and then I tried to get revenge by doing the same thing, and I wanted to die. I Yeah, never, never, ever, ever, like, I like, lying to people is the worst thing in the world. If you do something that you don't want anybody to know about, it's like it kills you. Like, inside and out. Every phone call I got, every text I got was like, "Oh, is this somebody found out?" And anyway, so in that relationship I lost a lot of self-confidence. Um and so, off the just back to the Gathering of Juggalos. When I got back from the Gathering of the Juggalos, it was not going well for me because this guy was like so mad that I was like networking with all these new people, and I was going to be featured on Fago Lovers, and I was supposed to do this interview, and I was getting asked by all these different people and all these different websites to do these interviews, and I wasn't allowed to do it. The guy that I was with was like, "No, like, I don't want all these people knowing you," basically. And so then I just kind of, put everything on hold, and then I got with this other person, and then I did a little bit of music dabbling here and there. Um oh, and then that's when I met Big Pred, so a local rapper. We did a song together. We performed at the Cooler, this bar in town, this nightclub. We performed there, and then a year after we performed there together, um, I actually, or did we perform there alone? Anyway, we opened for Swollen members. That was so cool. I remember meeting them and being like, "Wow!" Like, and that was kind of the start of me, being introduced to. And I also met like the guys from ICP at the Gathering of Juggalos because I was in a band, and it was all chill. And then, I met a lot of the other rappers too from Psychopathic Records, which was just very cool. And they were so chill and nothing weird. They weren't weird. They were just normal. They're just normal people. And I've since met some like people who like are arguably more, Hollywood. I've met Hollywood people. Some of them are complete psychopaths. Like, they're barely real people. Then open for small members, and then life took a crazy turn, and then I had my daughter, and then when she was about 5 or 6 months old, I auditioned for Canada's Got Talent, and I made it through 2 rounds of auditions. And on the third one, so the live taping, uh I went to the live taping, and my family came, and they were gonna like be the studio audience, and I choked hard. So in my auditions, I sang covers. I forget what I sang for the first one, but the second one, the in person audition, I sang Grenade by Bruno Mars. Easy come, easy go. That's just how you live. Oh, take, take, take it all, but you never give. And so for my third and live taping, audition, you would say, because you're going to get these, I decided to do a song that I wrote. Probably the worst mistake in my life, honestly. It was the song that I had done with Big Pred, and I really liked it. I wrote it, I produced it. It's called Hate That. And it was like, hate that, I hate that, I hate that I love you. Like it had like the yuckiest tone to it. And the lyrics were weird. There's nothing I wouldn't give up, but I don't want to lie to you, but I wouldn't die for you. I can't. And then I forget the words, but uh, yeah, I think it's actually on one of my albums. Did I put it on? I honestly can't remember. I think it might be on Traumatized. It is. It is. So you can listen to it on Spotify. Maybe I'll play it on here. I don't really, yeah. Anyways, it's a goofy song. Regardless, it's a really old song, but I put it on a newer album because I was just trying to get everything out there, get it all on there. Because a lot of people request these things over the years where they're like, hey, where can I listen to this song? And I'm like, nowhere. And so I got a lot of them out there. But anyways, I did Canada's Got Talent. And I think before I even got through the first chorus, I got and I cried. I cried so hard. But the worst part is I cried. Okay, so they told me like, okay, like you suck and we don't think you're a good singer, you're a good writer, but you shouldn't sing and you have a great outfit and you're cute, but you should quit singing. And I was like, all right. All right. Mhm. And so I like kind of held it together a little bit, but then I started bawling when I got like off stage, and the like showrunner person grabs me and goes, "You're gonna go out there again, but you're gonna cry like this." And so bawling, they walk me back out to the middle of the stage, and they make all the people, the judges, say the things they said to me, but again, and like you suck and you're not a good singer, but like so they said everything they already said to me but meaner and ruder, and I was just like, by that point I was like like just like crying, oh my gosh. And yeah, and then for almost a year, I couldn't tell anyone what happened, but I completely quit singing, completely quit writing anything, completely quit everything because I was like, I suck and I should just quit this because I'm terrible and these people say I'm terrible. And I was so petrified that I was going to be like highlighted on the airing of the TV show. And so the date finally came, Canada's Got Talent. I sat down in my living room and I watched it, and they showed me for maybe 3 seconds and it was over. You couldn't People who didn't know that I had done it did not know that I was on the show. And I just was like, I mean, I didn't know God back then, but I was like, thank you. Thank you for not embarrassing me in front of the whole country. Ugh, I mean, I'm embarrassing myself right now by telling you this story, but anyways, so then my confidence is at an all-time low, and I don't really remember why. Eventually I started writing a couple random things again, and singing here and there, and my YouTube history shows like there were definitely times where I was not having it and I just would not do anything, and then when I did, so years later, and then I would hit up karaoke once in a while, and this one karaoke guy, his name was Mark, he would always tell me like, wow, you're like such a good singer, and I would be like, thank you, and I'd be like singing loudest more set, it's like rain. And anyways, fast forward to like 2020, I think. This guy that I used to know from karaoke invited me to open mic. Okay. Oh, actually, wait, back up. I was still writing the odd song, but I would not perform live. I would do karaoke once in a while, but I was not like actively pursuing music because I was like not I didn't want to perform for people because I really believed that those Canada's Got Talent judges were true, were accurate. And so I was still recording random songs that I, felt in my soul, and then in 2019 I released Truest Story. I didn't, say, "Hey, I'm releasing an album" or nothing like that. I just put it out. And um yeah, I think before that though I released Nothing to You. My friend Cindy had helped me release Nothing to You because I was just going through a lot at the time, and we released Nothing to You on platforms, and that was the first time I realized how easy it is to put your music on, online. And so, uh, not long after that, I released Truish Story, and it was a short album, 9 songs, less than a half hour long. Just a bunch of songs I'd recorded over the years that I wanted to get out there, and I just, a little bit for catharsis, a little bit for like here I am, like almost like like put it out there, don't tell anybody about it, um, and just see what it does. And I mean, it didn't do nothing, but the people who did listen to it loved it, and uh, you know, they became my encouragers. And then, yeah, a couple years later, maybe 1 or 2 years later, Mark invited me to open mic. And then I started live performing again with all these awesome musicians that would hang out at open mic. I met so many amazing musicians, and I watched bands form there. Like Dylan Hansen and the Rough Cuts formed there, and Kid Midnight and the Midnight Kids formed there. McKenna Gallagher, amazing singer. I met her there, and Kayla, the ukulele player. Like, she's just incredible. So many incredible people I met at the open mic, and it started getting me like into writing again. And then sometime around there, yeah, 2021, I released Traumatize, and that was kind of when I was starting to wake up from what was going on in the world. There's some songs about the whole, Crystalia ordeal on there, because this was I wrote a song a long time ago about how I wanted to, get my revenge and kill him for what he did. But I never finished it. Hey, can you like chill? Come here. Come here. Anyways, this boy, I swear, he just needs me all the time. Um yeah, the whole Crystalia ordeal, like that was a really hard time to go through, just finding out that he had done uh so much more even horrible things to other people, worse than what he did to me. As one of his fans, just assaulted. Like, why? Like, it still just boggles the mind. But you just gotta pray for sickos like that, right? um but yeah, I wrote some songs about that and put those out. And that was really cool. Like, we had this whole Crystalia victim support group, and a few of the girls were like, this is exactly what I needed to hear. And that made me happy, because it's exactly what I needed to say. And um yeah. So anyways, so put that album out, that was whatever. You know, and I was kind of starting to perform again, just randomly for people, just, singing for markets and at events and stuff. Started to do a lot more piano covers. I had a little piano. It was just like a 70 some key piano. I've now upgraded to the 88, my big 88 key piano, which is so heavy and sucks to take everywhere, but it sounds so much better, and the weighted keys are a game changer. But yeah, and then I really kind of, I was going through a lot in life, just in general. But musically, that was around when found God. After that, because like I said before, like when someone does something horrible to you, and then you find out that you weren't the only one, and then it just kind of shatters your worldview. Um, and the whole cult thing. I was on a quest for answers, and the answer I found was Jesus. And I'm so grateful for that. Like, so incredibly grateful for that. The next album I ended up writing was The Butterfly, and that album is so special to me. Every single song, except for the very first one, is written completely to God and for God. And that's good. Yeah. And then my music career kind of changed a lot. Even my singing voice changed. I started really, I started to sing in the worship bands at church, and just it was insane. It was like I've had so many people tell me that, they've been listening to me for years, but when I sing a worship song or I'm singing to God, my voice hits another level. And that's so amazing. Because, when God gives you a gift and you don't use it for Him, for His power, for His glory, and you don't give the glory to Him, you suck. you know, but you just gotta leaning into God with my gift has been in it's just been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing. I can hit notes I couldn't hit before. I can hold notes for longer than ever. I can play the piano decent, better than I could before. And it's amazing. Now, I perform wherever. Oh, and then I got the biggest opportunity of my life, which was to sing on the Vic Juba stage and do my own show. This anonymous donor donated from the Lloydminster Theatre Foundation, and they donated thousands of dollars for me to put on just my own show.
They donated thousands of dollars so that a lot of local people could put on their own shows, and I was one of the people chosen.
I made backgrounds, and it's all available on YouTube. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's pretty cool, except for my rambling in between. There's two versions you can watch. You can watch the full set in one big long, like 45-minute video, or you can watch each song individually where you don't have to hear me talk, because the talking honestly is so cringe. Because I was just like, I don't know, I was rambling. But yeah, and my friend Shauna, like, she's become such a sister to me and such a like light in my life as far as like leading me on the right path with God. And she's one of those people who just she makes you feel safe, and I love her. And she ended up like with 3 days notice sang with me on this Vic Juba stage for this huge show, cuz I asked her before, but then we didn't really talk about it again, and I kind of assumed she didn't want to. And then when I asked her again, she like 3 days before the show, she's like, "Yeah, let's do it." We practiced for 2 days, and then if you watch it, she nails every vocal run with me, like she had been singing with me for like 20 years. Like, she's amazing. She's such a great singer. And she's really amazing at harmonies. And I love to harmonize, but she is just so good at it. Like, she's a lot better than me. She can pick it up. She picks up like a nicer harmony than I can sometimes. Um Oh my god. Oh my god. You Lord help me. Lord, the smell of this dog. Oh my gosh. I Whoa. You're brutal. You're absolutely brutal. Come here. I'm sorry, but my gosh. Okay. So, and now that was just this year. That was in 2023. So, yeah. It was just it was amazing. It was the best thing in my life. And not the best thing in my life, obviously, but it was definitely the peak of my music career. And but actually that's not even true, because the peak of my music career came at camp this year, when I got to sing at camp for all the kids, and the kids were falling into worship, and crying, and just going through it. And I felt the Holy Spirit just wash like into me with this like heat and come out. And I've only felt that a few times. And leading worship is, even for 12 people, is way better than any stage that could have hundreds of thousands of people. Like, leading people into worship with the Holy Spirit is everything. It's everything. Come here. So yeah. So now I'm writing for my, I guess would be fourth or fifth. I'm writing my next album every day. I have like there's a few songs that are on my YouTube that I'm sure you will see on there. But it's a daily process, and I hope to release it in 2025. So look out for that. The roadmap is definitely going to be on there. And I just want to say that at the beginning of these podcasts, when it says, "I feel like I'm trapped, even though you gave me this this roadmap. Why won't I open it up? That's about the Bible because I found God, I know God, and then I go through these hard times where I'm depressed or sad or whatever, and it's like if I just open my Bible, the roadmap to life, I could be doing so much better. But often as a baby Christian, you forget that. You fall into these pits of despair and you forget that all you have to do is call Jesus. All you have to do is pray to God and He's going to take care of it. And so I was going through one of those times where I was like, I don't know what to do, God. I'm really struggling here. And so I just sat down at my piano and I sang that song without any foreknowledge of, like, I did the chord progression. I was like, okay, um, and I just started singing my feelings, and some of them rhymed, and some of it was amazing, and that's the roadmap. And I know it's like weird to be like love my own song, but that song is like something else. I just love it. I love it, and that's God. That's God. And if you look in that video, I at the end of the song, I like fix my glasses and I look over and the video just stops. My camera or my phone ran out of memory at that very second. So it's just like, to me, it's like God wrote that song and I didn't. And I think that's why it's okay to say that I like it. So, but I'm producing a version right now that's different than I can't, no matter how hard I try, I can't get it to be as good as that first time I did it. And so I don't want to release that as on the album the way that it is, because there is one note that I do not hit, or like right at the beginning where it's like, and I feel like nothing's when I say feel like nothing's real, it's awful. I there's a note that I just missed there with my voice. And so I really want to re-record it, but I've been having a hard time getting it to sound the way that it sounded that day. Because I think I was also a little bit sick, so my voice was cool and raspy. And I'm not about to start smoking like Britney Spears to get my voice to sound like that. So um but yeah, and then I just got so many songs in the works coming for next year, but I don't know what to call the album. I have no name. Usually I come up with the name and then I just kind of put it all together, but this time it's different. I don't know what to call it. I'm kind of blanking, and I know that one day God's just going to give it to me and then we'll go from there. But yeah, so truest story, traumatize, and then I am the butterfly, with two singles in there between. But you can find all my music on Spotify, iTunes, Apple, Google Play, whatever, YouTube, YouTube Music. I'm on there too. But yeah, I love music. Music's always been my escape. And someone told me a while back, I wish because I was going through something obviously with someone, and they said, I wish you would have said some of these things to me instead of me having to hear it in your music, because I'm way better at writing a song about how I feel than just being like, hey, you know? So, and I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but yeah. Um, I don't know how much time has passed because I've stopped the video so many times to deal with my puppy. Oh, I can't wait till he's just a chill boy and just like lays around all day because he's too tired to be playful. But he is driving me crazy. Anyways, I have so many topics in my notepad to talk about. I also want to point you in the direction of my Bible study blog. Okay, I have studied certain things excessively in the Bible. And, I could be wrong about things. I'm open to that. But this is what the Holy Spirit led me to write down, led me to find. And so you can check that out as well. It's in my, tap link with all my stuff there. So listen to my music and read my Bible blog. But please comment. Tell me what to talk about next time. Tell me what you want to know about me. If there's anything in this episode that, like, because I know that I just like go on these tangents. I'll just be talking about something and then something else will come up and then I'll just like run after that and then I won't like circle back. And I know that I've watched podcasts before where people do that, where they like never get back to the original point they were trying to make, and then you're left like, okay, but what about this? If you ever feel that, please comment it and say, hey, like, you didn't finish this thought, what were you going to say, or anything like that. I want this to be interactive. And I want you to, yeah, so comment on my Instagram, comment on YouTube, on Facebook, send me a message. If you want me to address it on the podcast, please do. I love to interact with you. And so please do that. I just hope you have a beautiful day and we can just pray. Um, Dear God, I just love you so much. You are just so good. And I can't get enough of you. And I'm so appreciative of the fact that I can sit here and just talk and be emotionally stable enough to talk about certain things that I used to have a lot of trouble with. Thank you for giving me the strength, God, because like I can't do anything without you, and it's Christ who strengthens me, and I just thank you. I thank you for everyone listening, and I pray for their well-being, and I pray that if they're not seeking your face, that they have the passion and desire to seek you, God, and live with you and be obedient to you, God, that they discern the truth and know what's right and wrong, and that they lead others into you with love, with your love shining through them. And I pray that everybody is healthy, happy, and just chasing you, God. Your plan, your will be done, not mine. Your will be done, Lord, not mine. Not any of ours. Your will be done. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay. And I have a lot of spare time these last couple weeks because church is like taking a break from all the youth activities and the Bible studies, and I'm kind of like, what do I do with myself? I've been cleaning my house and painting things and writing music, and it's been nice, but I really miss everyone. I feel kind of lonely sometimes, and I've got my daughter, but there are a lot of times where she, you know, um she's a teenager. She wants to go listen to music and talk to her friends on Snapchat. Like it's yeah. And so it's me and the dog. Me and the dog. And I love the dog, but you know, yeah, I don't need anything, Lord. It says in the Bible to just be content, and I am. I am. Uh but I miss all my friends. I miss the youth kids. I miss my church friends. I miss, and luckily I got to see Shauna this week at the Christmas concert. But it's like I miss seeing her like at least 3 times a week. So anyway, I miss a lot of people. When I really think about it, like, yeah. Anyway, I love church. I could be there all day, every day. But I gotta like work at my job and be a mom and take care of my pupper. So yeah. I don't know why I'm still rambling. This is over. We prayed, I'm probably going to do something stupid with my hands, like whatever. Anyways, have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for listening. And I just love you. I love you. God loves you. And yeah, see you next time.